How's it going, folks? And welcome back to the final episode here with Newcastle of our Let's Play. Today, we have a transfer special. I've enjoyed these a lot over the years here in the Northeast. So for one last time, we're here to spend a load of money. And then, of course, in the next kind of few days, we're going to be holidaying forward to see the long-term effects of our management kind of tenure, I suppose, at Newcastle. But today is a chance to try and bolster what is already a rather good squad, by all accounts, and make it that little bit stronger if we can. Now, in terms of the team itself, it's already quite a young squad, with the exception of the obvious players, the Van Dijks, the Neymars, the Salahs, some of the players that maybe I brought in more for the name than their footballing ability. The squad itself is actually really, really good. I mean, you look at the starting 11 that we've got here, the average age must only be 24 or 25. This is a team that is already set up for a lot of longer term success. Of course, we've also got some really good kind of much younger players on the verge of the first team. So with 274 million in the bank and a fair bit of wage budget too, I think the plan here is to get a little bit silly. The plan is to move on some of the earners who are perhaps earning a little bit too much. Neymar. Bad cough I've got. And one or two other slightly older players perhaps, and then use that money that hopefully we free up in wage budget to really just add a few superstars to the team. That's not to say we won't try and sign an odd regen or two, but to be honest, I don't trust my successor to develop them particularly well. So I'd rather just give them an overabundance of talent for the present and then hope they can make something work with what we give them. So yeah, that's the plan. It's a transfer special. We've got a lot of money to spend, and there's a move that I'm going to try straight away, which I don't know if it's going to work, but Ben Godfrey, who is somewhere here. Ben Godfrey, where are you? I'm blind. He's wanted by Man City. Now, Man City have a player that I would quite like. They have Haaland. Now, I don't really need Haaland, but I'd quite like Haaland. He doesn't have an asking price set at all. I'm going to bid 150 million plus Ben Godfrey, and I'm hoping that this is going to be as simple as the Neymar signing was in the last transfer special. So I'm just going to hit the suggest button. It's all going to come up in green, and it's all going to be great. Or it will just come up in red. Okay, look, I do actually want to sign this man if I can. So I'm going to make a second offer that does involve some remortgaging of the stadium. I'm going to make a bid of 150 million. I can't do another 150 million. We'll start with 100 more million on top. 250 million. No, that's still a lot, isn't it? 225 million. That feels more reasonable. The fact that sounds reasonable as a bid in my head really tells you where my head's at here at Newcastle. The money has gone to my brain, but we're going to make this offer and see if they accept him. I have noticed elsewhere that a few of the other kind of big dogs of the league, shall we say, like Manchester United, are already making some early moves. Now, a man I've seen that they have already made a bid for is Pedri. So the question has to be asked, do I want Pedri? Do I need Pedri? Should I sign Pedri? Look, he's valued at 109 million. He's 23 years old. He's actually insane in game. I don't really need another attacking player. And if I was going to be managing at the club, I probably wouldn't do it. But I feel like he's probably too good to turn down considering he's actually affordable. Now, because I'm going for the remortgaging approach where we're going to try and use lots of installments so that we can get as many big deals as we can, I'm going to go in with 50 million and 75 million. And, well, it's more than what Manchester United have offered. In fact, we'll lower, I was going to say we'll lower this slightly, but I actually can't lower it to a lower amount without it jumping down. I'll tell you what, we'll offer you 120 million, Barcelona. I did not expect them to accept that with that clause. I mean, it's only 45 million this year. That's the number I have to worry about. Who cares what my successors have to spend money-wise? If I can get them Pedri, they're not going to need to spend any money anyway. So alongside Pedri and Haaland, another position that's kind of been top of my to try and sort out list, but I've not really been able to sort out, is the goalkeeping position. Ramsdale is brilliant. Ramsdale is really good. Donnarumma, though, is just different gravy. Now, whether or not I can sign this gravy remains to be seen. But I'm going to go in with an early bid of 50 million. And then, you know what? We'll go for the Pedri approach. 50 million plus another 75 million. PSG think that's unacceptable. I'll tell you what, we'll up it a little bit. I have a sneaking suspicion Donnarumma might be tricky to get. If that is going to be the case, I might have a look at younger goalkeepers. Like we have been kind of scouting players during the kind of early stages of pre-season. I had a little bit of a look around before we jumped into the episode today, setting scouts out on assignments. There are some okay goalkeepers around. The issue I've kind of got is, of course, that we've just signed Leonidas, who, I mean, besides his name, he's also got a lot of other stuff going for him. At 18 years old, he probably is the future next great goalkeeper, or at least that's what I would like to believe. So the question has to be asked, if I don't get Donnarumma, is there like a second choice who's actually worth buying? And to be honest, I'm not really sure there is, because all the other good goalkeepers, they're a little on the older side. I mean, Alisson age 33, Onana 30, Kakir is 30 as well. Lafont? I mean, is Lafont that much better than Ramsdale? I feel like I'm getting deja vu. We've been here before, haven't we? I mean, he's just not as... Ramsdale is very good in Football Manager. I just feel like when I look at the screen and look at our best 11, the fact that our goalkeeper only has 3 stars upsets me, but the reality is I don't know if we're even going to be able to find a goalkeeper who doesn't have 3 stars for ability and wants to sign for us. I guess we can try and make something happen with Donnarumma. Not feeling overly ambitious or optimistic about the possibilities of it, though. Okay, so Pedri is interested in joining us, but feels there might be a more appealing option elsewhere. Apparently he has more interest in Manchester United. What is that all about, Pedri? What is that all about? Also, he wants £500,000. How much is Mbappe on? 400,000. How does Pedri compare with Mbappe? I mean, Pedri is very good and is only 23, but 500's a lot. I can go to 400 feels reasonable. 400 and I'll give your agent a fat paycheck and you can have a big sell-on clause. He wants 525. 425? 450? Now, as I said, as I put a bid on Pedri, I personally probably wouldn't sign Pedri if I was going to continue as manager, just because I'm not sure he really fits what I'm going for in terms of system, but he is probably the best playmaker in the world. I mean, how does he compare with Demir? I'm now curious to have a look. Where is Demir? Yusuf Demir. Yusuf? You're down at the bottom. I don't know why I've shouted his name there like he's going to respond, here I am. I mean, when you compare Demir with Pedri, there's not a world of difference between them. At the same time, I actually think at just over £100 million, it probably still makes Pedri a bit of a bargain, especially because only 45 million of it is this year. I realise I'm talking myself into Pedri. He's probably going to turn me down and go to Manchester United anyway. Now, as I said, I am going to try and get rid of Van Dijk and Salah and everyone, just because I think that would give me a little bit more wiggle room. My concern is that a 34-year-old Van Dijk on £200,000 a week probably isn't going to attract that much interest, and I think the same is probably applicable for the likes of Salah and Neymar. But you know what? I've already offered a couple of them out already and no one's bid. In Neymar's case, I've offered him out for nothing. I can hope someone puts on a bid, right? I mean, the fact that Neymar's got over 2 years on this current deal, I have to question my own contract negotiation skills and hold up my hands and say, I probably made a mistake. Now, Van Dijk thinks the asking price is a little bit high. What would he rather it go down to? I didn't expect Livakovic to cheer him up. Right, Virgil, how much do you want? How about this? How about 22 million? 22 and a half. That's still too expensive. 20. That's still too... 19 and a half. He's grumpy. I mean, at least it might make him easier to sell, I suppose. We'll offer him out for 20. See if anyone nibbles. We can always offer him out for a tiny bit less. My reasoning for wanting to sell Van Dijk is I think it might lower our wage spend quite a lot and allow me to reinvest. He says, as he's trying to sign Pedri on 500 or close to £500,000 a week. Elsewhere, Donnarumma, the bid's been rejected, but we'll go again. You know, he's 27 years old. He's probably got, I don't know, another 10 years in him, really, as a goalkeeper. We'll go for a bid that amounts to 160 million. They still think it's unacceptable. Okay, let me try. How much is Donnarumma actually worth? I think I'm willing to go up to 200 million, but with clauses to actually mean that we're spending that money. Anything over 200 million, I'm not going to bother. I'm just not going to bother. This is where I need the perfect goalkeeper from my recent experiment video that we did on the channel. I need a godlike goalkeeper to appear, and there just isn't one. Elsewhere, our bid for Erling Haaland has been rejected. We'll go up to 250 million plus Ben Godfrey. They still think it's unacceptable. It's quite a lot of money for Erling Haaland, but it is Erling Haaland. 275 plus Ben Godfrey. Maybe I should remove Ben Godfrey. Maybe let's remove. I feel like I'm getting scammed at this point, but it is still Erling Haaland. Elsewhere, Van Dijk is getting interest, but no one actually has made a bid yet because they're all frigid. So let's try a different offer where we tell them 14.5 million, but I ain't paying his wages. Also, I didn't see any interest in Salah or Neymar, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe if we offer Mo Salah out for free. How much did I spend on Mo Salah and Neymar? I'm trying to remember. I think it was in the region of 10 million, which for the 6 months they gave us, for the memories, probably wasn't worth it, now that I think about it, really. Am I really about to consider bidding £300 million on Erling Haaland? Long-term viewers of the channel can remember the last time I made a bid of £300 million for a Man City. They've still turned it down. Now I'm really interested. If I just give you 300 million outright, are you just going to accept that? And if you do, am I just going to spend the entirety of today's episode trying to sell players to get me up to £300 million transfer budget? Is that really the direction today's going in? I realised that I could just sign Moukoko. Release clause of 97 million. Now, he's not as good in the air as Erling Haaland. I do have a sneaking suspicion he'd probably be a better investment for the first team, though. Right, you know what? He's got a release clause of 97 million. We've been here before. We'll make an offer. We can give him a contract offer, negotiate it, and if the Haaland stuff falls through, Mokoko's the plan B. I should have just signed him last year when I had a bid of 69 million accepted, but here we are. He's also asking for a lot of money. What is that wage demand, sir? Okay, I'll rejig the budget slightly. Fingers crossed he'll accept this. Never mind, we tried. I don't know what the next plan C? Plan C. I'll find a plan C for us. Man City accepted the bid. Plan A's back on, everyone. Except there's a World Cup going on and now Erling Haaland doesn't want to talk to me. I mean, what do I just wait for Norway to maybe get knocked out of the World Cup? Is he worth spending £300 million on? I think the answer to both is probably no, but at the same time, there's a voice in the back of my head saying, do it. I don't know why I expected for the final episode. It was something like this, if I'm honest. I mean, it was never going to go any other way, really, was it? I feel like I should probably do some investing in the future. Matthias Boldo, 19 years old, Argentine, very, very good attributes. His statistics a little underwhelming, but for 600k to 7 million, I feel like I should probably just slap a bid of like 4 million on him, which will probably be accepted straight away, and I could probably negotiate it more and then sign him. I'll give them a little bit more. Hopefully we can make some long-term investment. I did also notice Camavinga's available for, I want to say a reasonable amount of money, 98 to 119 million for Camavinga. He's got a release clause of 199 million, apparently. You know what? Should we do a Pedri deal? Let's do a Pedri deal. I'll tell you what, I hope that the owners aren't going to withdraw the funding anytime soon. Otherwise, the future years may just involve the club getting liquidated with all the instalments that I'm going to ensure they're paying for the foreseeable future. Right, how many? He wants 500. He wants 500. Why do they all want 500? I'll give you... What are you on at the moment? You're on 400 at the moment. I did not realise that. Right, I'll give you 400. Please do 425. Be reasonable. Thank you. Right, Camavinga, Pedri. I mean, you can't say I'm not going big for the last year, even if it does seem like, well, a certain Erling Haaland is out of our reach. Musiala, by the way, former player, I kind of want to sign. I'm not sure I want to be paying 235 to 258 million. For those who want the fairy tale return, it ain't happening. Get over it. Another player who's been on my radar for a little while is Edu Cunha. He appeared in the Next Gen Awards. He finished 3rd place alongside Aguiar and also Giovanni Lunson, who plays for PSG. But the man that we're interested in is Edu Cunha, valued for between 26 and 38 million. Who has bid on him? Brighton have bid 35 million. That's quite a lot of money for him, I feel like. I mean, he's very good, though. Model citizen personality, very consistent. 20 years old. I mean, you know what? We'll make a bid, but I'm doing it in installments. I'm really sorry to whoever the next manager is. Your ability to spend for the future might be a little restricted by what I'm about to do to the club with all these deals. Apparently, they want a loan back. Absolutely not. Reject that. Give him a contract offer. We are bigger than Brighton. He wants 100,000. He wants 160,000 after 25. I mean, jog on. Actually, look, what is this? You are 20. You are not as good as you think you are, Edu. You are not as good as you think you are. Thank you. 100k. Yeah, I think he's quite good, isn't he? He's quite good. I probably should sign some more defenders, really. Maybe I should try and sell some more people, because no one wants Van Dijk, Neymar or Salah. Or actually, in Van Dijk's case, they do want him, but perhaps quite reasonably, most clubs aren't willing to pay a 34-year-old Van Dijk £200,000 a week. I can't help but wonder why. Also, 58 items in my inbox. Oh, it's Scout Report Central. Right, if any of these people stick out to me, I'll let you know and we'll make some bids. So of all 50 Scout reports we just got, the biggest kind of plus I can come away with all of it is the Matthias Boldo, the man who I just discussed making a bid on, and we have indeed submitted a bid for, was the highest most recommended player with an A+. So, yeah, I think we're going to try and sign Matthias if we can. I think Project Haaland is probably on the back burner. I'm just kind of now waiting for Pedri to turn me down. Although, wait, when Pedri's... What? Sorry, I missed apparently we're waiting on a work permit for Pedri. Oh, it was 2 days ago. I missed that. Yeah, Pedri might be coming. In fact, we find out tomorrow if he's coming. How exciting. Now, I ain't saying he's a gold digger. I do think the money that we're offering him is probably swinging him into joining us. Also, he's been impressed by the ambition shown by me. Little does he know I'm leaving the club. Right, Pedri, you are here. Project Haaland is out the window, everyone. I'm sorry. He's a B, apparently. When we're signing Pedri and the fan reaction is a B, I think that tells you how good the squad is. £450,000 a week is quite a lot. But then again, he's been absolutely phenomenal the last few years for Barcelona. And yeah, he's very, very good. I mean, it's Pedri, everyone. I think at this rate, the new manager is probably going to be playing with 10 attackers. But his problem, not mine. So with all the attackers we're signing, I feel like defence is probably a good place to try and help with things. I'm looking at the players available. There's players like Nuno Mendes who might be available, although I feel like compared to Alphonso Davies, he's just not very good. And we have already got some pretty good wing-back regens coming through the squad. Kind of when you look at the team, obviously, we have Andy Harwood, who played in the first team this year. Elsewhere, if we just look at kind of some of our best players with good potential, obviously Harwood we just looked at. On the other side, we've got Alex Esteban, who we agreed to sign, you might remember, at the start of last year. Last summer, he's now agreed and finally joined us upon turning 18. He looks like a good little right back. We've got Raul Reynoso, who I know a few people have asked about. Jack, what's happened to the guy with the crazy hair? He's still here. He's just kind of chilling in the reserves. And we've also got Peter Paul at right back. So actually, I think wing backs isn't really a priority. Centre backs, there's already some pretty good ones at the club. That doesn't mean we can't add a few more, though. And one player who I have got my eye on is Tanguy Nianzou, who is 24 years old, asking price probably in the region of 107 to 127 million pounds. He's already on 450k a week, so I'm expecting the wage demands to be a little on the steep side. The other player who I did look at was Jules Koundé, who isn't quite as young and is also 27. If we're getting rid of Van Dijk, is there room for him in the team? I mean, we already have Martin Johansson as well. Maybe I should be looking more at regens than kind of old people. I realise I say old people. I basically mean maybe I shouldn't sign real footballers. Maybe I should just look for regens of the future. I mean, we have got some we've scouted, like Felipe Salinas, but he's not very tall and his jumping reach is a bit crud. Yeah, I'm not sure he's the answer. Is there anyone else with like particularly good rep that we've scouted already? Kerr Smith? I mean, he's our own former player, isn't he? It's always weird when one of your former players pops up. We sold him for 23 million. Bournemouth have now bid 36 million. I hope I put a sell-on clause there. Otherwise, we're going to miss out on some money. There is Kevin Luna here, who is not very good. Does anyone else just feel like all these regions are really underwhelming? Or is that just me? I mean, if we sort by recommendation, who have you got for me? Leonardo Bruno, another player from Flamengo with 7 heading. I mean, besides his heading, he's good, but 7 heading, I'm not sure about that. There's also Martin Kovacevic. Is this the guy who was at Manchester United? No, Manchester United have I think a Serbian player with a similar looking name. Is this guy good? I mean, the physicals look very intimidating with the up to 20s, but I think that's masking over the fact he's got 10 heading and 12 jumping reach. Although he has only just turned 20. He's got perfectionist personality. There's a release clause of 38 million in his contract. I think I know what we need to do. It's not cheap. I wonder if they would accept like 20 million and then some of it in installments. I have a sneaking suspicion they'll just ask for the release clause. Okay, never mind. We're doing a Pedri deal. 20 million now, 20 million over 3 years. I'll tell you what, I hope the new I say the new chairman. I hope the current chairman is going to be able to sort out lots of telecommunication deals. Because the amount of random sponsors we've been able to pull out at just random points to help with financial fair play, I think that's going to be an ongoing challenge that the club have to manage. It's not my fault, though. They've given me the money. I'm just spending it as I see fit. So good news, everyone. Martin Kovacevic. I hope I've done his name justice there. He's joining us from Sevilla. 20 million up front, 20 million over 3 years. A great little young centre-back for the future. I am actually very interested to compare him against Martin Johansson, who I feel like has set the standard for like young centre-backs in our team. You can see he's not quite as good as Martin. He's a similar age to Martin as well. But I think between them, the future of the centre-back position is in rather good hands now. So I'm happy to have both of them in the ranks. Also, minor new addition who, I kind of forgot to mention, Camavinga's here. Yeah, it's 125 million. Takes our total spend so far. Oh, the transfer window split over the 2 screens. It takes our total spend between Pedri, Camavinga, and also Kovacic to a measly £285 million, which isn't that much because there's still 100. I've just realised there's still 108 million in the bank. We are quite far over the wage budget, but we can rejig the money. Now we've got a load free. Are we actually signing anyone at the moment? Okay, we've got a contract offer with Matthias Boldo, who I think is going to be a crazy playmaker, and also Edu Cunha, who've agreed to potentially sign for 20 million. We're waiting on a work permit for him that should be granted. And with those 2 signings for 25 million, I'm going to have 50 million plus a little bit of wage budget to maybe go sign a few more players. The first team is getting a little bit large at this point, but I've set the mindset that I've had the last few years of it doesn't really matter at this point because we can afford it, and also not my problem to solve. It's like I'm scrambling a Rubik's Cube and then chucking it in the direction of the next manager. Except, when you get a cheap Rubik's Cube and they've got the stickers, what I've secretly done is I've swapped some of the stickers around. So the Rubik's Cube cannot be solved for the future manager because of all the monthly installments. But again, not my problem. I mean, as far as teams ever built in Football Manager, this must surely be one of the best at this point, right? Ramsdale in goal, Fofana, Tomori, Gvardiol, Livramento, Alphonso Davies, Bellingham, Havertz, Demir, Mbappe, Adeyemi. And then you're kind of ignoring the players on the bench. There's Camavinga here. There's Pedri here. There's Aguiar with his headband. He's probably better than every other player in the world. Calvert-Lewin and Salah. Declan Rice. I mean, Declan Rice is on the bench in our team. For the majority of the teams in Football Manager, Declan Rice would be like a star centre mid that you use as kind of a pillar in your team. For us, he's just kind of a nice little bit on the side, really. I am sat wondering, with Adeyemi wanted by PSG, and just looking at how good Yusuf Demir is versus Adeyemi, even though he scored a load of goals for us, if I could sell Adeyemi for enough, maybe I could get Erling Haaland. But would that be the ultimate betrayal to get rid of Adeyemi after everything we've been through to try and sign a man who, frankly, is not worth the amount of money I'm offering or considering offering? 300 million would be mental, wouldn't it? Okay, gang, I've mashed continue forward a little bit, but unfortunately, I do not think the ultimate goal to sign Erling Haaland is going to happen. I had you, didn't I? I had you. 350 million pounds, my eyes, my brain, my mind. This is a terrible idea. 103 million up front. Lots of millions over lots of years. But it is Erling Haaland going to Newcastle United. I have completed Football Manager. Click the accept button. There it is, folks. It's done. You can't end this series. I should probably explain how we can afford him, right? I mean, Erling Haaland, Newcastle. Now, we have got quite a lot of attackers now, and by we, I mean my successor has quite a lot of attackers. As far as I'm concerned, what a squad. What a team. It's the best team that's ever been built in Football Manager. I'm calling it now. If you've done a better job with Newcastle, show me the team. I don't think it can be done. How did we afford Haaland? It's been a little while. It's the 11th of July now. Van Dijk left us. Paulo Bernardo are sold for 54 million. We signed him last year for 40. He was okay as a backup, but with the new centre mids of Pedri and Camavinga, he's not really needed. Luca Dean's left as well, and between those three players and some wages and some creative bookkeeping, which sees us pay £250 million to Man City over the next 5 years, I've pulled it off, all with us only going slightly over the wage budget, which actually I can rejig. There you go. Under the wage budget, Football Manager, I've completed it. I don't know what to do now. What do I do now? I feel like this is just a happy ending. Now, I know for a fact not everyone is going to have enjoyed what I've done in this final episode, but I've had some fun. I hope you've had some fun watching. What a lovely way to end things here. What an incredible squad amassed at Newcastle. Erling Haaland, the final signing, just feels like the correct note to end on. So I think we'll leave things here. Was I still signing anyone? I wasn't. I've spent all the money. There's a tiny bit left. Yeah, I think this is as close as you can get to completing the game, so I'm just quite content to leave things here. If you've enjoyed this episode, as always, do drop a like on it. Thank you for watching this final episode, if you can call it that. There's one more thing that we need to do, and that is resign in a blaze of glory, spend 350 million on Erling Haaland, and then just walk out of the front gates, never to return. Newcastle, you've been wonderful. Apparently Conte wants the job. Feels a bit weird to look at them from the outside in, to look at the team, to look at the players, to look at the quality that I built, and to know that it's going to be in someone else's hands. As I've already mentioned a couple of times, we will be doing the in the future videos soon, so keep your eyes peeled for those. And well, until next time, thank you for watching as always. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you all in a bit. I'm out.